Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to jump timelines and shift to parallel alternative realities. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. We have a big video for you today. The question came up, Tom, I want to jump timelines. I've been imagining and affirming this new life of a new job, more money, the love that I want in my life. But I haven't moved. Or how do I know I moved? Or did I jump timelines or didn't I? It seems like the same old reality. These questions come up from time to time. I want to talk about this idea of timelines and jumping timelines to a parallel alternative reality. Remember that the whole experience of timelines is just that. It's an experience. It's you as I am awareness moving over frozen frames of potential or light of all that is, and then creating a story around those frames, threading them together in your I am story. Do you see this? There's no connection to any one frame or image of all that is other than you as all that is. There's no other story to those frozen frames. You create the story. You create the experience of a timeline. Remember, you're all it is. You're always the center of it, right? You never go anywhere, but you create a story of that I am awareness. And that's what creates this horizontal linear experience that we call timelines or parallel alternative realities. But each of these imagined images you could call a reality, a potential reality. The idea of a timeline or the idea of a reality with a past, present, and future is your story about that frame. What's the story? That's why imaginal scenes are so powerful. When you imagine one frame, that creates an entire parallel horizontal linear experience or timeline or experience of you as I am awareness. But it's a story. Each of these frames you could call a reality, a potential reality. But there's only one ultimate reality, and that's you as I am awareness at the center of all of it. That's you as all that is. So timelines are an experience. The frames have no connection to each other other than you as the center is all that is, other than being all that is. Then you connect them and make that story of who you are. You create that horizontal linear story. Remember, you're always all that is. All frames exist within you and as you. One superimposed over another. All potential. All potential identities exist within you and as you. One superimposed over another. Then you create it with your story. You create this idea of a timeline. But remember, there are no objective realities of timelines or realities out there. They're all potential within you. So you create it by your story. You create the idea of that who you were and who you will be right now. It's all now, right? And remember, you're shifting realities or frames or what you want to call timelines or parallel alternative realities in every moment. In other words, in every moment, you have a new infinite perspective of who you are as all that is, a different viewpoint or perspective or vantage point. And the timeline is the idea that you connect that to the previous frame in a hoped for and imagined future frame. And you create that experience, but it's all now. So I'm going to show this today like we never have before. So let's start at the top. Ultimate reality is just pure potential. It's pure knowing. And it's all knowing. And if it's all knowing, that all knowing must be all power, all the power there is. There's no power outside of it. There's no source outside of it. It is all that is. It's what the ancients called the all or the one, right? The Kabbalion talks about the all in the mind of the all, in the mind of that one mind. Pure awareness or consciousness, one universal, infinite living mind. right? What is referred to as spirit or the Father or source or reality, and you're the center of it. right? You are the great I am. You're the center of it. You're expressing yourself. Great I am is expressing itself through you and as you. I am that I am. It is I, as I've talked about. That's what I am. It is I. I am the I of existence. In that one infinite living mind, we live and we move and have our being, or we exist in that one mind. I am. I exist. I exist within that one divine mind as the center of it. That's what the ancients meant by that. In that one living God, or one living intelligent mind, whatever you want to call that, whatever you want to refer to it, that existence itself, that's been referred to by so many names, the Father or Source or Ultimate Reality or the Great I Am, in that one infinite living mind, we live, we move, and have our beingness. What's the beingness? That's I am awareness. That's the sun of that existence. That's the sun of that pure potential. That's the Son of God. That's the I, the isnness of reality, the great I am being aware of itself as all that is. In other words, living and moving and having its being in that one mind. That's why the ancients said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living mind, the Son of that living source, the Son of that one universal infinite living mind. You're the Son, or in other words, the center. Might be even a word that resonates with you more. You're the sun or center of that one infinite living mind. And if you're the center of it, you're all of it. And within it, all possible frames exist. They're not timelines. Your I am story creates the idea of a timeline or a parallel alternative reality. Because each of these imagined frames are you could call those a reality in themselves, but there's only one reality, you, as I am awareness. So we're just using vocabulary here in terms. That's why in John 10:34 it says, remember, Bashar says this, you're all Christs or sons. Or in other words, centers of that one infinite living mind. That's why in John 10:34 it says, is it not written, Jesus, your I am awareness, saying this, is it not written in your law, I said you are gods. You are gods, you are sons, you are Christs, or the sons of that living, infinite living mind. Your mind is the mind of God, or the mind of that one infinite universal mind, one with all other minds. That's how thought transmission is possible, because there's only one mind. It doesn't go anymore. You're not go anywhere. You're not transmitting it anywhere. Yeah, and people go, well, thought's energy and energy moves, but that's all a concession to that one infinite being that you are. There's movement, but that's an experience as that one divine mind. That's to know yourself as the one. Okay, so let's hit this. The idea of timelines or alternative parallel realities, hear this, is simply the horizontal linear arrangement of frozen frames of potential or light around your I am story. In other words, these frames are not linked or connected in any way other than they're all that is. Right? The ultimate connection is you as I am awareness. But there's no timeline or alternative parallel story around it. You're the story. You create it. There's no stories outside of you. That's powerful. Without your story, who would you be without your story? All that is. You would be more than you could ever imagine without that story. Those frozen frames are just mental images, or you might even want to call them memories of all that is. It's all memories. We're just remembering who we are from different perspectives or viewpoints or vantage points. That's why remembering your desired future as a memory, making it a memory, is so powerful. Because they're all memories anyway. You can remember the future. You can remember the future just as easy as you can remember the past. Right? It's all powerful. That's why the ancients asked, who do men or people say that I, the Son of Man, am? In other words, you as the center, what's the story? Your linear horizontal story of the people, events, thoughts, images, and perceptions and sensations. What's the story? Jesus asking his disciples, but it's your I am awareness. You, with your own physical mind and divine mind as one, defining yourself. The Son of Man is the Son of God, or that I am awareness, or your inner being, or your higher self in expression in the 3D physical experience that you're projecting and reflecting. That's all the Son of Man is. In other words, you are the vertical, infinite, timeless reality, I am awareness, knowing yourself through infinite, horizontal, linear experiences. Those linear experiences cross that vertical. But you create that idea. You got the cross here. That's the vertical. Right? But those are just experiences. You link together and thread together a story around those frozen frames of potential that you move over as I am awareness. Wow. That's powerful. There are no physical, objective timelines or realities to which to jump or shift. So know that. They're not objective. They're not out there. They're not out there existing where you got to jump to that timeline. In other words, you create the timeline. You create the parallel alternative reality in every moment. Do you see it? That's the idea of jumping timelines. Right? Even the idea of jumping gives you that vertical picture of jumping, and that's a way to understand it. That's a concession. And there is an experience of jumping or moving or shifting for sure. But you're creating it, but there's no physical objective timeline, right, where you exist apart from your story of I am. It's all potential. There's no out there. Out there means that it lives and it exists and it has its being as potential within you. That's what that means. All those potential timelines or realities live, exist, or have their being within you as that I am awareness. You as the center. You telling your story. There's that green line again. That what's your truth or story of who you are? The true nature of you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. You are I am awareness. You're the center of all that is. But you can create a story around that. But base it on your true story. The greatest story ever told. The greatest love story ever told. I am that I am. Now, you create, but remember, what we do is we believe, we look out there and we look at the manifested circumstances. We look at this, what looks like a timeline or a parallel alternative reality that exists outside of us, some objective timeline or reality of people, events, and circumstances, and even the thoughts and feelings. And we identify with them to look for proof of who we are. We allow them to define our story. Right? We're not defining our story from above. We're defining it from below. That's why Jesus said you would have no power or authority at all over me, against me, unless it was given from above. This is when Pontius Pilate, right? He's in front of Pontius Pilate and he says, don't you know I have the power to set you free or crucify you? He goes, you don't have any power over me unless I allow these conditions to crucify me, right? To have power and authority over me. But I get it. The power comes from me as above, as I am awareness. I get to determine that story. But when you allow the story to tell your story, one of you coined that. I owe that to one of you as one of the subscribers. I loved it. You could tell I love it. So feel free to comment on this video. You're allowing this past that you think is manifested and real and still exists and is there in some timeline, some objective reality to define who you are right now, to tell your story, or that hope for future, or the future that doesn't look good. You're allowing that to tell that story. When you get to tell your story, and that creates the past and future and everything that you are. Do you see? It's that linear horizontal experience. You create this idea or an experience of a solid, real, manifested physical timeline or reality. You create a real experience of that, and it's just an arrangement or rearrangement of frozen frames of potential or light. And they're only connected or linked by your story in terms of a horizontal linear experience. You thread those frames together with your own story. What story are you telling? Are you telling it from above or you're telling it from below? Because that's going to determine your entire life experience. That's what we meant by circumstances don't matter, that changing thoughts and feelings don't matter, that the changing people, events, and circumstances don't matter. Because they're not source. They don't create anything. And when you make them matter, they become your story. And you wonder why things are not changing and why you're not moving to a new timeline or reality. Do you see this today? But when you take your cue from above, now you're dominating. Now you have dominion over that 3D reality. That's powerful. And Jesus asked, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And the disciples answer, some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, others say Jeremiah, one of the prophets. Who knows, right? Who knows when you're focused down here on believing that there's some solid timeline or parallel alternative experience that you've got to overcome or do something with. And so you define it by those changing thoughts and feelings, those changing emotions, those changing people, events, and circumstances. This is you allowing the potential stories, because they're just potential stories. They're not even stories that exist out there, to tell your story. And this is you allowing the seen manifested physical images of people, events, and circumstances, and the unseen manifested images of thoughts, feelings, and memories to tell your story. Instead, what is Jesus, as your I am awareness, what do the ancients put in there? What do they have Jesus say? After the disciples go off on that tangent, Jesus, your I am awareness, your higher self, the Christ in you, all that isness, asks, but who do you say that I am? Who do you say? And then Peter answers, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God, the Son of that living, infinite, divine mind, that universal mind. You're the Son or the center, is what they're really trying to say, the center of all that is. You are all that is. You get to call those shots. You get to create your story from above. See the difference? From above, you create that parallel, horizontal, linear experience. The past is just an idea. The future is just an idea of who you are right now. Yes, you still create that reflection in the mirror, that projection that feels so physical, but now it's coming from above and it's all now. So you jump timelines by creating it. Or creating them in every moment. By how? By telling the story within the greatest story ever told. I am all that is, or I am that I am. Tell that story from above. Then imagine yourself with your specific person and having an unbelievable Valentine's Day, or getting that new job or promotion, or being famous. Some of you want to be famous. I had a few conversations. All of that's you now. Better relationships, better parents, better physical health, miraculous healings, as we've talked about on the channel the last few days. All of that's yours, but that can only come from above. It doesn't come from those linear, horizontal, objective physical timelines that you believe exist. Everything's potential, and you are that potential. How do I know? How do I know that I jumped and shifted? Because you say so. Who else is there? I am he, as Jesus answered when they were asking for him. Who do you seek? Whom are you seeking? Who are you looking for? Jesus asked. We're looking for Jesus the Nazarene. Well, I'm it. Let everything else go. You found me. Here I am. You see? So because you say so, because your story says so, because it's your story, you're the only evidence and proof that matters. Because you are source, you are creator, you are the story, you are I am. That's why circumstances, people, events, thoughts, feelings, sensations, images, and memories, all of that don't matter unless you allow them to matter, unless you make them matter, unless you allow them to tell your story. Otherwise, they're not source or they don't create anything. But then you say, well, but aren't they evidence or indicators that you haven't shifted if I'm feeling bad? Well, no, you are. You can create that idea that unwanted circumstances or unwanted thoughts and feelings are indicators that you haven't shifted. Then you just create a reality where you haven't shifted in that moment. Or you can say they have no power over me whatsoever, and I'm going to shift anyway. I'm going to be that. That's what bends reality. How do you think that miraculous healing that we talked about a few days ago happened? They were feeling all those thoughts and sensations. They were feeling fear and all of that. That was all going through their mind. They were in the circumstances. The young boy was bleeding out. They weren't ignoring any of that. They were saying, I am greater than all of that. So you are. That's how to do it. That's how to jump timelines and shift parallel realities. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being with our other channel, the Tom Kearin channel. We're going to have more content coming on that channel as well as our live stream. Not this Sunday, but then I believe the following Sunday is our live event. And that's on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel where I answer your questions as you ask them in real time. And there's more content coming on the membership channel, so stay tuned. If you're a member, join us. If you're not, check it out. There's a link below. Creators with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.